Hi! Today I want to talk about character introductions. I was listening to some writer's advice, and as usual, I found points I disagree with. And I understand that it probably works for a lot of people, so this is what I give you is my opinions, obviously, but I'm fairly sure I can't be the only person on earth who thinks that. I sincerely hope I'm not. And basically what the advice was saying is that when you introduce a character, you want to do it as fast as you can, because you want to move on. Basically in the first scene you probably already want to have the inciting incident, and you want to introduce your character in a way that would be both fast and will make people care about that character. Now, what I really disagree with is what people think will make one care about the character, because the example that they gave was, here is a character from a book, I believe, where he wants to organize like a big crime because he wants revenge for the death of his brother. And so they say that just by providing that motivation and backstory, people will care about this character. Now, the thing is, I wouldn't at all. Like, I know nothing about that character, actually. All I know is facts, and what it sounds to me like, what they do is just a moral justification. Because also a note that the podcaster made was that motivation that is given to this character will also allow people to not judge the later decisions of that character too harshly, and so it will make the character more likable, I presume, even though the podcaster I think was quite like insistent on it's not about likability. But all I'm hearing is, here's some backstory. This character is defined pretty much as a plot device, like of a revenge plot, and I'm in for a ride to listen to a moral tale about dealing with either revenge or grief. And I pretty much know where I'm heading with this. I'm not that interested, and I still know nothing about that character as a person. This is not a character introduction to me, because I think a lot of people think of characters as pretty much vehicles for plot, or for the theme, or for a moral lesson. Well, I think of the characters as people. People I need to want to spend like 300 pages with, or like a 2-hour film, or like 3 seasons of a TV show. And what I want to know is how I see that done in a way that is interesting, is to put a character through some sort of pressure test. Put a character into a conflict situation, high pressure situation, and I want to see how that character behaves. And that will tell me a lot more about that character. And you just stack those high pressure situations in the first scenes to provide all sorts of like different points of attack on the character, and then I can learn a lot about that character as a person. How does he react? How does he resolve this, like those situations? For example, which is, again, this is I'm going to give you an example from classics, and it's not as in like classic literature, not classic literature from like 19th century, but and the character I'm talking about is not the protagonist by any means, but it's a good example of just a high pressure scene that tells you a lot about the character. And I'm talking about War and Peace and Dolokhov character. He is introduced, taking a bath to sit on like window pane on, I think it's like a second floor, drinking a whole bottle of high volume spirit. I think it's vodka. I might be wrong. And might be rum, actually. Don't remember. But the point is, it tells me, like, the way he does it, the way he takes the bat, the way he's described, the way he does the whole thing, the way he balances there, the fact that he takes it such a bat tells me a lot about the character without me knowing anything about his backstory and without me knowing nothing about where the plot is going. And I think it's much more interesting because now, again, this is like also obviously not every character would be liked by every person, and this is like at some point I will talk about specific characters that I like, and obviously at this point I'm like, some people will just drop this character because they're not interested in him and the chance you take. But for me, like, this is enough. I'm interested in this guy. I want to continue reading. And the plot is less predictable that way. And I'm sticking to the story because I'm already invested in this character. Rather than I'm just invested in learning a moral lesson at the end of the story, as many of those are, like, basically because the character introductions revolve back to the some sort of problem that a character has that is relevant to the plot. It exposes too much and tells me nothing. I hope this makes sense. So, this is one of my opinion videos. I hope this is enjoyable. And if you want to see me again, please subscribe. You probably might see me again even if you don't. But it would be nice if you do. And please click that bell button. And see you next time.